You think you know London's history, but beneath its iconic skyline lies a dark secret that claimed more lives than many wartime battles. In December 1952, an invisible enemy descended on the city, turning everyday streets into death traps and ordinary air into poison. For 5 terrifying days, London became a slow-moving gas chamber, and most people didn't even realize it was happening. This is the untold story of the Great London Smog, a disaster so devastating it forced the modern world to confront the true cost of ignoring the environment. It began like any other winter morning. Londoners woke up to what seemed like a familiar sight, a thick, yellowish fog creeping through the streets. Fog was nothing new here. For generations, London had lived with so-called pea-soupers, dense fogs fueled by coal smoke and cold air. People went to work, children went to school, buses rolled out as usual. But by midday, something felt wrong. Visibility dropped to just a few feet. Drivers abandoned their cars. Theater performances were canceled because audiences couldn't see the stage. Inside homes, the fog seeped through doors and windows, curling around furniture like a living thing. What no one realized yet was that this wasn't just fog. It was a deadly atmospheric trap. A rare weather event known as a temperature inversion settled over the city, sealing polluted air close to the ground. At the same time, London was burning massive amounts of low-quality coal to heat homes during an unusually cold winter. Power plants, factories, and fireplaces pumped sulfur dioxide and smoke particles into the air nonstop. Normally, these pollutants would rise and disperse. But now, they had nowhere to go. The result was a toxic cocktail hanging at breathing level. Sulfur dioxide mixed with moisture in the air, forming sulfuric acid. Fine black particles filled lungs with every breath. This was pollution so dense that people reported difficulty seeing their own feet. The air smelled of rot and chemicals. Animals were among the first to suffer. Cattle collapsed in fields. Birds fell from the sky. At dog shows, pets began choking and dying where they stood. Hospitals quickly became overwhelmed. Patients poured in complaining of chest pain, coughing, and burning lungs. Doctors noticed something alarming. People with asthma, bronchitis, or heart disease were deteriorating at terrifying speed. Even those previously healthy began to struggle. Ambulances couldn't navigate the streets because drivers couldn't see. Some patients never made it to care at all. Yet, at first, officials underestimated what was happening. Deaths rose quietly, buried in paperwork and misattributed to winter illnesses. London had endured war, bombings, and rationing. Surely it could survive a bit of bad air. But as days passed, the numbers became impossible to ignore. Mortuaries filled. Coffins ran out. Funeral services stretched for weeks. When the smog finally lifted after 5 days, the true scale of the catastrophe began to emerge. Initial estimates placed the death toll at around 4,000. Later scientific analysis revealed a far more chilling truth. Closer to 12,000 people likely died as a direct result of the smog, with over 100,000 more suffering serious illness. It wasn't an act of nature alone. It was the result of systemic failure, outdated energy choices, and a society that had normalized pollution as the price of progress. Scientists painstakingly reconstructed what happened, linking air quality data with hospital records and mortality spikes. The conclusion was undeniable. This was one of the deadliest environmental disasters in modern history, not caused by an explosion or a flood, but by air itself. The Great London Smog changed everything. Public outrage forced governments to act. Within a few years, the UK passed the Clean Air Act, restricting coal use and transforming urban energy systems. Smoke-filled skylines began to clear. The tragedy became a turning point, shaping modern environmental policy around the world. But this story isn't just history. It's a warning. Today, cities across the globe still struggle with air pollution, often invisible, often ignored until it's too late. The Great Smog reminds us that environmental risks don't announce themselves with alarms. They creep in quietly, normalized, until the damage is done. If this story made you see modern cities differently, that awareness matters. Understanding past environmental failures empowers us to demand cleaner energy, smarter policies, and healthier urban spaces today. If you value deep, thought-provoking stories like this, stories that reveal the hidden forces shaping our world, consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps keep these lessons alive, because history isn't just about what happened. It's about what we choose to learn from it.